car salesman
These
people.
are like psychological things.
Okay. So yeah, so I feel like it sounds sleazy, but if you want it, and if you believe that they deserve it, and often we put too much focus on ourselves, like it's all about like, am I worth it? They're not buying you. They're buying pictures that you took, and they get to keep those forever. Yes, you took them, and you get to bring in the money, but they're not buying you. You're not going home with them. They're not going to stay with you. They're going to stay with these pictures, and do they deserve to have those? Do you really think that in 50 years from now, they're going to be like, oh, she wasn't really, right? They have these pictures, and that's what they really are interested in, and helping them have those in a way that's meaningful for them. So if you want it, and if you believe that they deserve it, then you have to invite them. You have to give them the opportunity to say yes to themselves, because they're really not saying yes to you. They're saying yes to themselves, and you have to be willing to let them say yes to themselves. So, okay, closing techniques. The first one is the reflexive close. So the reflexive close is basically reflecting back on an original question that your client had, asked once, and then now the value has been established. Okay, so in that first call, or during the session, often they tell you things that are helping you understand, like, where their value is. So, for example, do you sell the disc?
Do I?
Do I really? Our most common thing. At the premiere, then I always say something like, and in this middle collection, this is where you're going to get the digital negatives, which I know were so important to you, and I know how special these are because you're going to be able to have them for generations, and then your kids will have them. And I just immediately, I'm just reiterating that value, so I already know what is most important to them because they already told me. So now I'm just reminding them exactly during the session.
You're saying if they ask like before they're booking you, do you sell the disc, then you just bring it back after the premiere.
Yeah, and I don't think of it as like, we'll use closing technique once. This is the actual name for it, and I do this all the time because I'm listening. Like, we're saying this is a closing technique, but this is really listening, right? This is what we talked about in the listen technique. If you're listening, you can anticipate their needs, and you can already know that what they're interested in is creating something for their family room wall, or being able to create pictures for their Christmas card, or whatever it is. So then you make sure that you're set up to be able to offer that and talk about that during the session premiere.
So you didn't answer it originally?
I did, I'm reiterating.
Okay.
So you're just bringing it back up again, just to be like,
yeah,
this
exactly.
is where you get what you wanted, like your gas mileage, for example. Like if it said, like in the car and you get in, you're like, yeah, and see how good the gas mileage is? You said that was important to you, blah, 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 blah. This is the one that's going to get you the best gas mileage.
Yeah, like that. Exactly. Yeah, so it's just being reiterated. They say that people feel that they're over-communicating. Like the number one thing that that leaders and salespeople and things like that think is that they're over-communicating and they're saying it too much and they're worried they're going to be annoying saying it too much. And they have found that actually only 10% of anyone ever over-communicates. Almost everyone is under-communicating. You're not sharing enough. So reiterating that things that are most important is not coming off as strong as you think it is, most likely. Okay, the next one is the win-win close. So, we've talked about this is in Thrive. We offer the customer two choices, both of which result in a yes answer. For example, would you like to find one favorite image for your walls or go with a wall collection like this? I'm not saying, would you like to get a canvas or no? You know, like giving that like, and that oftentimes it comes across like,